All right, welcome. We're doing a special spotlight today, coming to you straight from the floor of K-INNOSHOW 2025. And we're diving into something pretty incredible, a company that's using augmented reality to tackle a problem where, get this, a single millimeter can be the difference between a total success and a complete disaster.
So, hello everyone, let me introduce you to the amazing K-Tech companies here at K-INNOSHOW 2025. There's so much to see, but today we're going to zoom in on one company in particular because they're taking on a huge challenge in modern medicine.
Okay, so let's talk about that challenge. The title here says it all, a millimeter from disaster. I want you to just picture this for a second. You're a surgeon in training. You've got the knowledge, your hands are steady, but the line between doing something perfectly and making a life-altering mistake, it's literally thinner than a credit card.
Which brings us to this massive question. How on earth do you practice something like that? I mean, a procedure where one tiny millimeter makes all the difference. Think about it. When you're working deep inside the human body, you can't see what you're doing. You can't just, eyeball it. You have to build muscle memory for something that's totally blind. So yeah, how do you get that right before you're doing it for real?
And this really breaks it down for us. You've got these incredibly high-stakes, invasive procedures. They demand sub-millimeter precision. That's just insane to think about. But the way we've trained for this for, generations, it's been pretty tough. It's hard to make the education reproducible, The feedback a senior doctor gives is often subjective. And the pressure on these trainees, it's through the roof. Most importantly, there's been no objective, data-driven way to say, okay, you're ready.
But what if you could give those trainees a kind of superpower, like X-ray vision, a way to see right through skin and tissue and be guided by a perfect digital map? Well, that's exactly the vision behind a company we're looking at today called Decasight.
So who is Decasight? Well, they're a K-Tech company, and their whole mission is about using 3D precision tracking and data to make medical procedures way more accurate and safe. They're basically building a bridge between the digital world and the operating room, right where it matters most. And I love their tagline because it's not just marketing fluff. It's literally their blueprint. Real-time tracking, that's step one. Augmented insight, that's what you get from the tracking. And the result? Smarter procedures. It's this perfect three-part formula that they believe can completely change the game.
So how does this actually work? The best way to think about it is like a GPS for a surgeon's needle. It's that simple. First, the system tracks the tool. It knows exactly where it is in 3D space with crazy accuracy. Second, it visualizes it by putting a 3D medical image, like a CT scan, right on top of the training dummy. And then third, it guides the trainee, showing them the perfect path to take. So for the first time, they can actually see the needle's path inside the body, all in augmented reality. It's amazing.
Now, this isn't just some cool tech demo or a far-off concept. It's a real product, and it has a name, Artis. You can think of it as a digital mentor that's always on, always perfect for doctors in training.
So Artis is the whole package. It's this AR-based simulation system that gives medical staff guidance on procedures. But here's the kicker, and this is so important. It doesn't just guide them, it gives them quantitative performance evaluation. It scores them. It gives them hard data on how they did. Let's put this side by side, because this is where it really clicks. The old way? You watch, you try, and a senior doctor says, that felt a little off. It's all subjective. The practice is really hard to standardize. But with Artis, you're guided by this incredible AR visualization. The feedback isn't a feeling, it's numbers, it's data. And the practice is totally safe and reproducible. You can do it 100 times until it's perfect. And this is the number that just blows my mind. This is what makes it all work. The margin of error for tracking the tools is between 0.3 and 0.5 millimeters. We're talking about sub-millimeter accuracy. It is so ridiculously precise that you can absolutely trust it to train for the most delicate procedures there are. So, what are we training for here? Well, it's not learning how to put on a Band-Aid. We're talking about the really tough stuff. Things like central venous catheterization. That's putting a line directly into a major vein near the heart. A lumbar puncture. You might know it as a spinal tap. Or even a bone marrow biopsy. These are all procedures where, yeah, that single millimeter is everything.
Okay, so you're probably thinking what I'm thinking. This sounds incredible, but is anyone actually using it? Is it out there in the real world, moving from a concept to the clinic? Well, the answer is a big, emphatic yes.
And we're not talking about small clinics. Decasight is already working with some of the biggest and most respected names in South Korea's medical field. Look at this list. Severance Hospital, that's Yonsei University, Chungang University Hospital, Samsung Medical Center. I mean, when hospitals of this caliber are bringing in a new technology to train their doctors, that tells you everything you need to know. That is a huge seal of approval.
As impressive as all of this is, for a K-Tech company like Decasight, this is just the start. A groundbreaking training tool is amazing, but their vision is so much bigger. It goes way beyond the training room. You have to see Artis as the launching pad. Their endgame is to pioneer a whole new era of advanced healthcare. They want to create the objective standard for how all doctors are trained. They're looking at connecting things like the metaverse and AI directly into the medical field. So you see, they're not just trying to grow the AR healthcare market, they're trying to build it from the ground up.
And it's really important to note that this kind of innovation doesn't just happen on its own, right? It takes an entire ecosystem. And that's where this comes in. The Ministry of SMEs and Startups supports the growth of South Korea's K-Tech companies. They help create the environment where a visionary company like Decasight can get the support it needs to turn what sounds like science fiction into actual medical fact.
So that really leaves us with one final exciting question to think about. We just saw how AR can literally give a surgeon a new way to see. It just makes you wonder, what's next? What other tasks that seem completely impossible today, in medicine or anywhere else, will this kind of technology make totally routine tomorrow? Something to think about.